For those of you that want to know how to fix your accent, you have a problem with your accent, you want to fix your accent and you want to sound like a native. You know what? This video is for you. You know what I have to say about that?
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here.
Or another way of saying it is, let me use an idiom. Talk to the hand. If you don't know what talk to the hand means, it's basically when a person says something and you believe that what came out of their mouth is illogical, makes no sense, or you don't even want to entertain the question. Why? Because it has no value to you. So with all due respect, you want to fix your accent? You want to sound like a native, have native accent, sound like a Brit, or sound like an American? With all due respect, talk to the hand.
Wow, you did not just say that.
Now, did you ever wonder or think about the fact, let's say for example, you are learning English. And for most of you watching this video, it's not your native language. So let's say you're learning different vocabulary words. For example, you want to say ship, you know, like a boat, ship, but you say, excuse my English, shit. Or you want to say aisle, you're in the grocery store and you're walking down the aisle, and instead of saying aisle, you say ISIL. Let's say, for example, you want to say the word beach, a place of enjoyment near the sea or lake. You want to go to the beach, but instead you say bitch. Now, I wonder, does that really have to do with your accent? Fixing your accent, or is there something else that you might want to fix, or that you might want to clarify, or that you might to focus on? Fix your accent? Sound like a native? Let me say this as clearly and as succinct as possible, so hopefully you understand my message, my focus. Perhaps, maybe, is there a possibility that instead of fixing your accent and sounding like a native, you might want to fix your clarity? You might want to fix your pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
How you pronounce and say words. Or perhaps, maybe, even within the scope of your brain, that you might want to fix your intonation. Rising and falling of your voice. And maybe, just maybe, I don't know, you might want to fix your enunciation. Enunciation. Those are things that you might want to fix, to resolve. That if you have problems with respect to the aforementioned issues, you might want to fix that instead of fixing your accent or sounding like a native. And one thing that perhaps that I know, that I recognize, that I realize, and I happen to be a native English speaker, and I happen to speak another language other than English, that one of the things that I need to fix, that I need to correct, that I need to resolve and accept, is that I need to fix my mindset. Meaning, in case you don't know, that I have to believe and understand and recognize that everything that I need is inside of me, and I am what I think. And when I fix my mindset, it helps me believe that, you know what, that I too can learn English, that I can be fluent in English, and I can sound and speak naturally. And part of that, I think, with mindset is I need to fix my, correct my, resolve my, accept my, recognizing and realizing that, you know what? Motivation starts from within. But wait, what are you talking about? You're crazy. You want me to speak naturally? With ease, with confidence, with flow? You want me to focus on my clarity and my pronunciation? You got to be kidding me. You don't understand what I go through. You're not learning English. That's true. But here's something that I ask you to think about. In the course of your English journey, during the time that you've been learning English, at whatever age you are, whatever level you are, wherever you live, have you ever thought about, have you ever considered why people, content providers, language schools, language institutions, private tutors, and let me preface by saying those particular individuals or organizations can do anything they want to do. But have you ever considered about why those aforementioned individuals and organizations are telling you to fix your accent or sound like a native? Did that ever cross your mind? Have you ever thought about that? What reasons, what factors might they have saying fix your accent? Well, I don't know. Perhaps, maybe. Is it a possibility within the realm that some of these people or organizations are telling you that because they want to keep English in a box? They want to showcase, highlight, manifest, show one particular narrative, one particular story that, oh, accent should only be associated with one particular region, one particular accent, typically a native speaking accent, and they want to keep English in a box. Maybe they don't want to push the envelope with respect to English. This is an envelope. The verb push. Do you think I'm giving you a literal meaning? No. Push the envelope. It's an idiom. The idiom means to test your limits. See how far you can go. Try new ideas. Innovate. Expand. Exceed. For example, with respect to teaching English, I'm going to push the envelope. You need another example? Here's the question. For you, are you willing to push the envelope to achieve your goals? Push the envelope to learn English, to expand, to innovate. Push the envelope. The choice is yours. So they want to keep English in a box, tell you one story, keep one narrative that for some might work. And for others, such as myself, maybe even you, doesn't jive, doesn't feel right. There might be something the matter with that. Is there another reason why people might tell you to fix your accent, sound more like a native? I don't know. Did you ever think that maybe, possibly, within the realm of possibility, that some people, content providers, language schools, are playing on your insecurities? No. Are you serious? Do you dare say that? What do you mean, playing on your insecurities? Well, see, English is in your native language, and what they might be doing is playing on your insecurities, telling you either consciously or subconsciously that you're less than, that in order to be better than, then you need to sound like a native and fix your accent because they are consciously or or even subconsciously telling you there's something the matter with you. But something the matter with you? You're learning English, and it's a language, a global international language. The last time I looked, the last time I thought, there's nothing the matter with you, right? Do you find it of value, of worth, that someone is playing or possibly playing on your insecurities? And if they are, what or how does that make you feel? What do you, if anything, do about that? Don't make me think. Now, in case you don't know, English is a global international language spoken by over 1 billion people in the world. And a lot of you out there are trying to sound like natives and have a native accent. Now, I need to preface by saying, okay, I realize that. And if you have a desire or a goal or an aspiration to sound like a native and have native accent, then do yourself a favor. Figure out what particular accent you want that's native, and recognize and realize that that is something that can be achieved, that is possible, but it takes a lot of mimicking or copying or shadowing. But please understand something. Having a native speaking accent is not something that is mandatory. It's not a requirement. It's a global international language, right? Or another way of thinking it is this. Here's what I want you to think about. Here's a question. You don't have to answer me. You can answer yourself. Or if you want to answer me, let me know what you think in the comments section. There are almost 7.6 billion people in the world. And if I asked you, would you want everyone in the world to look like you, act like you, dress like you, dance like you, believe in the things that you believe in? Would you want everybody in the world to be the same? Most people would say no. But interestingly enough, when it comes to a lot of you learners, students, the ATW family out there, you're all, or a lot of you, a vast percentage of you, a vast majority, are all trying to sound like a native and fix your accent. What's the matter with you? There's nothing the matter with your accent. I thought that for some, at least for me, my accent, the distinctive way in which I speak, it is part of who I am. It is part of my identity. It is what makes me distinct. And I thought again, if English was global and international in nature, that the different accents of the world and dialects of the world shows the diversity and the beauty of English.
We are the world. We are the children.
But yet, so many of you are trying to fix something, your accent, or sound like a native, and perhaps fixing something that might not necessarily need to be fixed, and focusing on your clarity and your pronunciation might be more important. What am I trying to say? Some of you out there are having difficulties taking your English to the next level. Why? Because you might be, maybe, focused on the wrong thing. Thinking that you need to fix your accent instead of fixing your confidence, belief, clarity, and pronunciation. I don't know. Another way that I want you to think about it. Here's a question for you. What do you think, believe, or feel is more important? to communicate your thoughts, ideas, beliefs, hopes, dreams, and with clarity, motivation, confidence, using the right words, speaking naturally? Or do you think that you need to have a particular accent, and yet when you're speaking with an accent that might not be yours, that you're not able to communicate your thoughts and your ideas? Basically, what's more important? That you are able to communicate that, hey, you want to take a trip, that you need to order food with ease and confidence and clarity? Or do you need to have a particular native accent and fix your accent and nobody knows what's coming out of your mouth?
Damn!
So for me, my advice, my suggestion, my recommendation is that you don't need to fix your accent. You don't need to sound like a native unless you want to. And what you need to fix and focus and work on is speaking naturally. Speaking with ease, with clarity, pronunciation. And oh yeah, I know that might be a little hard for you to understand. What? How dare you say that? Wait a minute. What? You're native, William. Really? I could care less about that. What I focus, in case you're new, is I usually, and most of the time, will focus on speaking English naturally. And by the way, if you experience discrimination, accent discrimination, because it's real, because it's perpetuated within the ELT industry, and even amongst you learners. Did I just say that? Aside, if indeed that you experience discrimination as it relates to accent, here are a couple suggestions for you. Suggestion number one, remember this video and what I believe that you should focus on. And if indeed you face discrimination, because discrimination is real, understand and recognize or ask yourself the question, what will you do about that? Will you call the person out, the content provider, the language school? Will you let your voice be heard and said, wait a minute, hold on, back up. Don't I need to focus on my clarity and my pronunciation? What will you do to change accent discrimination in your city, in your country, in your community?
What you gonna do about it? Nothing.
Or do you choose, and it's a choice, do you choose to sit back and say nothing? That's something that you have to make a decision about. But ultimately, power concedes nothing. Discrimination will exist until I or you or we call out people for behavior and practices and attitudes that are not supportive for the community as a whole. So, if you are new, if you're here for the very first time, let me introduce myself. This is Teacher Will. This is the place where you and I learn together. I don't give a about your accent. You don't need to fix your accent on this page, on this channel, if you're part of the ATW family. You might want to correct and improve some other things, but with all due respect, talk to the hand with respect to your accent. There are other things that you need to correct and resolve. And as my mama used to say to me, sometimes in life, I want things, but things that I want are not necessarily what I need. So figure out what you need with respect to your English goals. I recommend that you speak naturally and focus on those things that are, in my humble opinion, more important. If you like this video, feel free to make a comment below. Share this video with your friends and family. Click on that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so that when I drop a video, you are made aware of it. Fixing your accent. Cha. Really? Talk to the hand. Until next time.